anything special, but I think this is a lot of this is something that a lot of people struggle with but don't want to talk about. So I think then to me that means that's a great topic. We are live on Instagram as well as Facebook, so there will be some visuals that may look better on Facebook. If you wanted to hop over there, facebook.com/JMan Speaks, but Instagram, it'll be fine as well. I'm gonna make my head a little smaller. Whoop, so I look less enlarged on Instagram. Go like this. I think that puts me in the middle. All right, perfect. All right, so let me start with the story. My name is Jeremias JMan Monero. If you don't know me already, you should know me if you're watching this in some capacity. But where did JMan come from? That's the story where I wanted to start because that's my brand, right? And then we're going to talk about what my brand is, what your brand is, what it represents, and how you live. You have to live it every day. But way back in the year 2008, I was working for a brokerage. I'm not going to mention any names, but I was working for a brokerage. It's where I started. They had a great training program. And when I left for another brokerage, my name, jeremiasmonero.com, that was my website, right? It was the URL was registered, and that would go to my real estate website. Now, the company that I was working for at the time, they were nice enough to register that URL for me. They were like, oh, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Now, when I decided to leave, sometimes a brokerage could get salty, right? Meaning like they don't want you to leave and there's sour grapes in a way, which I think is short-sighted because maybe I would have came back had they treated me better. But when I went to leave, the chief information officer at the time said, yeah, we registered it in your name. If you want it, we registered for the next 3 years. I think it was 5 years total, but you have 3 years left on it. If you want the URL, you can take us to court. I was like, what? I'm just a real estate agent, mildly successful. I don't have the money to hire an attorney to get my name back, literally. And so then the broker that I started working with said, okay, why don't we develop a different brand here, right? Why don't we develop a different brand? So my first name is Jeremias. My last name is Monero, JMan. Okay, easy enough because I wanted something short, easy to remember, easy to spell. And so my real estate website is jmansells.com. When I started speaking, guess what? JMan Seminars. And then I was like, well, I do more than seminars. I also speak. So then it became JMan Speaks. Many times people will call the office. They go, I want to talk to JMan, or I'll get an email. They don't know my real name, right? And so if you're building a brand, something that's sustainable over time that represents your business, then and you build a team, it's like, okay, whatever your brand is, XYZ real estate group at your brokerage, that should be something that means something to your clients, to the customers, to the public, right? To the market that you serve. So that if you were at some point wanted to sell it, or anybody else, any other team member within the brand, they're going to say, well, if I'm working with anybody within that brand, then it's an exceptional experience. If that's, it's the experience is this because that's the brand, what the brand represents. So I'm going to give you a couple things that you can, of course, everything that I do is infused with AI. So I know this is tougher for some of you because you're just getting started, or you've been in the business for a while and you're like, shoot, am I too old at this point to rebrand? And no, never, right? If you're brand new, now's the time to put your brand on the market. If you've been in for a while, like rebranding or, in a more contemporary way, is always welcomed. So let me give you a couple prompts. Let's see what I'm going to do here. Where are my prompts at? I'm going to put this on the screen and look at, you can use ChatGPT. You can use Gemini.google.com, or Claude just had an update this week too. So like they're battling it out. We're not totally going to talk about that today. So let me just pull up my prompts and tell you what you should do with them. Here we go. Ready? Pew! There we go. Okay, I'm going to bring this over so that you can see it on the IG. Hold on 1 second. make this a little smaller, and then, oh no, where are you going, Jeremiah? Bring it to the middle. So you should be able to see most of this on IG, I hope. But I'm going to also read it out loud, and then I'll also put it in the chat for you all. Okay? But here's basically where you start. Now I can't even read it. I messed myself up. Okay, here we go. But pre personal improvement plan, right? Actually, this is, I did the wrong one. Did I do the wrong one? This is for after. Yeah, let's do this. That's going to be after, so let's just take a picture of that if you want to save it, okay? For before, I got to do the other one here. My bad, my friends. Here we go. Bringing this back over. Okay, now, generating your personal branding statement. Again, I'm going to give you a prompt. This is going to help you to do this. Okay, bring myself back up. It's a little bit harder when I'm doing in two places that have different orientations. It's kind of annoying to me, but it's okay. I know some of you won't even hop on Facebook, so that's why I do it. All right, so the first one, generate personal branding statement. So GPT, or just put, help me to create based on my expertise in luxury, if you do luxury real estate, or based on my expertise in blank. Do you do investment properties? Is it first-time home buyers? Is it senior real estate specialists? Is it military relocation? What do you specialize in? Okay. Can you assist in there? There we go. Can you help me craft a personal branding statement? So it's, what do you specialize in and what are you passionate about? My passion for helping women become homeowners. My passion in helping military veterans achieve homeownership. You know, whatever your passion is. And if you don't know, you could also ask that. You know, help me, ask me the questions that I need to answer in order to generate my personal branding statement. Okay. Second, your success story composition, meaning, could you help me write a compelling story highlighting a time when my personal brand positively impacted my real estate business? Okay. I'm going to give you, again, I'm going to give you examples as we go. So let's say I am a speaker. And then let's say I am a speaker. And, you know, there was a time, my 3 core values are family, fun, and fitness. And we'll review that in a little bit. And so I wanted that to always shine through when I spoke, because that's part of my brand. Fun, right? If I can't have fun, I don't want to do it. 4 years before the pandemic, I had many companies that were offering me an above average amount of money to do webinars and do online things. And I was like, no. And they're like, why? I'm like, because it's boring. And boring is not, it's not in line with my brand. I don't want to do something that's boring, because then that affects what people, you know, your brand is what people think of you when you're not there. And so when we do something in person, if you've been in my sessions, at some point, if at all possible, I want to get everybody up and do some kind of group dance or some kind of fun group activity. Now, I had somebody then say to me, a fellow speaker who I respected at the time, let that sink in, who I respected at the time, said to me, like, enough with the dancing. I was like, pardon me? They're like, I mean, why do you have to do all the dancing all the time? It's like a show. And I had to pause for a minute, because I'm like, how do I respond to this in this moment? And I was like, it's like a show. I'm like, yeah, it is, isn't it? And so I took that. For 1 second, I was like, man, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm setting myself apart in a negative way. And then I said, okay, well, you know, thank you for your opinion. I didn't really ask for it, but thank you for your opinion. And then my very next speaking engagement, the person who hired me said, hey, are we going to be doing a dance at the end? And I hadn't planned to, because it was still in the back of my mind from that person going, enough dancing. I was like, you know what? We sure are. And so every chance that I get, that's part of it, right? So it's when people start to remember you for something, it's like, oh, you're the person that gives this away at closing. You're the restaurant that gives these chocolate truffles when you leave. You're the you know what is it you want to be known for? What is that experience like? Okay. And then the third prompt you see here is analyze my last 6 months. This is where it really gets even better. That's right. Thank you, Sherry. Um, Godsey, GPT or whatever AI you want to use. Analyze my last 6 months of social media posts and identify areas where my personal branding could improve. Analysis is one of the great strengths of AI. So you could, it may take some time or pay your kids, your grandkids, your niece, your nephew, just copy paste. Analyze my last 6 months. Use copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Give them all the data. The more samples you give AI, the better it can learn and make suggestions for improvement. Everything that I do, all that I have, and what I mean by that is like presentations, handouts, brochures, marketing. I'm constantly inputting that into into AI and saying, how can I make this better? Right? One of my favorite sayings is progress, not perfection. Perfection is unattainable, but we can get it just incrementally better every day. So this is where you look at it and say, GPT, analyze my last 6 months social media posts and identify areas where my personal branding could improve. So that's your homework to kind of start with, if you will. And I'm gonna take that off. Hopefully you've taken a picture. I'll give you one more second. 3, 2, 1. Boop. Hey gone. Hey gone. Hey gone. Okay. Yeah. I mean, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to all of you that support us. Now, I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper. Boop, boop. Hey, there I am. I'm going to make this bigger. Oh, branding in there. Now, don't get this confused. Now, is there a portion of branding? This is branding like that, obviously, but it's the best visual I could have for branding at the moment. Is there a portion of branding that has to do with your font and your color choices and your aesthetic? Of course. Okay. But we got to go a little bit deeper than that. I would, if you're on Instagram, if you analyze my feed, we've curated that in a way so that the aesthetic is on brand. Blue and yellow for my seminars business, you'll see that prevalent throughout. Okay. In certain fonts that we use. But still, I'm not going too deep into that. I'm not going to go, oh my gosh, I cannot post that because it's totally off brand. The colors are way off. You're fine. Okay. So think of it more than that. Now video, you knew that was coming. That's my hand in my phone. Video is a great way for people to start to get to know your brand and for your brand to be top of mind. Shikes. I gotta move myself over again. I just realized this. You're hearing my voice, but you're not seeing it. Okay, here we go. Little JMan in the middle. Where you at? In the middle. Tell me. Yeah. Okay. Video. So you knew it was coming. Great way for people to get to know you. Like, know, and trust you. Get to know you. The authentic you. And I think for some of you, it's so hard to be real. You know why? Our whole life, right? Our whole life, somebody said to us, sit down, be still, be like everybody else since we were in school. Well, we're all meant to shine bright the way children do, right? And when we shine bright, we unconsciously let others do the same. Woo! I love that. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's okay. You are your brand, right? And you see, like this is that triple play. The 1 year I was rocking a fur coat almost everywhere. And is that part of my brand? Yes, because I'm okay being who I want to be. Like that fur coat belonged to my mom. My mom said, could you get rid of this or recycle it or whatever you do? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give this coat a new life. And I don't do it for a show. It's not a costume that I'm putting on. I put things on because it makes me feel good. It's fun and I enjoy it. And I think that's how you have to be. Okay. It's your opportunity to stand out from the crowd, right? Your brand, when you start to build it and you live it and everything that you do, you don't want to be normal, right? And you have to think, what will they remember thinking of you? So, and this could be a post that, hey, I'm taking a class, or however you want to do this. I'm taking a class, but when you think of me and my real estate business, what are a few words that come to mind? That's part of your brand. If they go, oh man, Sherry's very detail oriented. Billy loves to dance. Anita, for me, it was family came up often. I like to have fun, but my clients also know that when it's time to get down to business, I'm a beast, right? I'm going to fight for my clients more than anybody that they could have worked with. Okay. And then fitness is an important part of my life, no matter what. So what will they remember when they're thinking of you? When you think about your community and things that you're creating, you want to demonstrate your knowledge, your experience, and your expertise, right? If you truly love where you live, that should shine through in everything that you do. All the volunteering that you're doing, all of your extra efforts, the content that you're creating. I don't want to see one more freaking post of an agent saying, just listed, just sold, I won an award. That may have resonated with previous generations. How did I want to word that? Right? But the millennial generation cares more about what you're doing to make a difference in the world. What are you doing to volunteer? Right? What are you doing to donate or give back? If you're really passionate about that, can be part of your brand. Giving, volunteering, philanthropy. I always have trouble with that word. Okay? Focus on what matters to you most. And this is where, we can at times in real estate and in any business lose focus. Like you're like, oh, look are there speakers out there right now that talk about AI because it's a trending topic and they know that they'll get hired? Yeah. Should they do it? Maybe not, because they're not as passionate about it. They're not as knowledgeable. And for me, when you're doing things, if you really enjoy it and you're passionate about it, like that passion shines through, right? That passion is the transfer of enthusiasm to your clients. When I talk about real estate investing, I talk about real estate like, yo, I love this. I love speaking to you guys about real estate. And it's your clients can see that. Your students in the classroom can see that. But be yourself and embrace your core values. So you have to ask yourself, what are the core values of my business? What are the things that matter to me most? Some of you could say family, but then you're working 12 hours a day. Is family really what matters most? Because there's a certain point where you're trying so hard to make a living that your personal life suffers. So if family's important to you, you know what I would do? Hey, who can I pay to do a lot of the things that I don't need to do so that I can get back to the things that matter most? Right? So think about that. What are your core values? If you can boil it down to 3, it could be more than 3. But this is where when you start to build a brand and you start to build a team, and they're in line with you and your core values and your mission and your vision, you're unstoppable, right? When you try to recruit people based on profit, like, hey, here's what you'll make. Guess what? They're going to leave you for somebody else that convinces them they can be more profitable. Core values, everything that you do, right? If you don't know me, they're my family. Got wifey, my 2 boys, AJ and Valentino. You saw Valentino doing a little dance there in my intro. And everything I do resonates or revolves around them because that's part of my brand, right? When you see me doing live streams, quite often you'll see me with, on Instagram you can't see him as well, but me with AJ, right? And there's 2 things that are happening there. I'm demonstrating one of my core values, but I'm also educating and having fun, right? Fitness is also very important. Again, in building a brand, some people were like, well, what does fitness have to do with real estate? Well, everything. Health is wealth, my friends, okay? But there's so many clients that I've picked up in the fitness-related activities that I do, but also it can be inspiring to others, right? Everybody struggles with fitness and health. Everybody. I do every day, right? Every day I wake up and I'm like, it's 4:30. I don't know if I want to wake up. But sharing my win the wake up. There's certain things that you don't realize, but when you do it over time, that inspires others. Because some people go, damn, man, you're winning wake up. And I just did that initially because me and a friend of mine were holding each other accountable, right? I'm going to get up at this time. And he's like, oh, me too. And I'm like, post it when you get up. And then just kept on going, right? Because I saw people would mention it to me. Now I have t-shirts, as my mom would say, that say win the wake up. Okay, and then fun, my last one. Thanks, Sherry. I don't always win the wake up, but I do more than I don't, right? And if I don't, there's times that I don't win it, and I post that, and I'm like, yo, I didn't win today, but it's okay, right? I think you should share, being authentic and being who you are, sharing that, not just the highlights, but what's really happening, right? When I shared the stories that I'm sharing with you today, like they're not all highlights, like things that people say to me, can be tough. Okay, and then like you say here, that's my sister, that's my brother. We're actually carrying my dad there, and that's where all three tie in: family, fitness, and fun. All right, family, fitness, and fun. So here's some video options for you, and then I'm going to give you some other ways to do this besides video, because some of you won't do the video. We do have faceless video options now with AI, but 1 second. We got some things I got to take off here. Okay, you could do live, you could do pre-recorded, you could do a show, or you could share other videos, right? You can curate content to share. So types of videos you have. You're the subject. Let me see if I make this smaller. If it will get smaller there. No, it won't. You are the subject and narrator, meaning like this. I'm the subject and I'm narrating something. You can narrate other subjects. Okay, and again, if you're on Instagram, you're not going to see the whole thing because this is a 16:9 PowerPoint behind me. So you narrate other subjects. So it could be you're walking through New York City and you're the narrator saying, here it is. Other subject, meaning you're recording other things, and then you have somebody else narrate it. This is where AI voice generation can come in, right? You pick a great narrator's voice that you like. Number 4, subject with no narration. Subject with no, so it's just focusing on the one thing. You're not talking about it. And then the last one is narration with no subject at all. Those are your 5 ways, videos that you can create. Now with a show format, I think it's important where it could be you and a guest, it could be me by myself, or it could be you and another host, right? I do all 3. Sometimes you'll see me here by myself. Sometimes I will have a guest with me. And then much to say about Nothing I Do with Jeffrey Scott Stanton, it's just him and I all the time, right? So if you're a little bit scared to do video in the beginning, there's safety in numbers, meaning, hey, right, if you have somebody else doing it with you, then when you don't know what to say and they know what to say, or just be sure that there's a good dynamic there. Community, where are the areas that you visit? What are the areas that you want to support? For me, right, family, fun, and fitness, but you want to be identified, your brand be specific to an area where you live. There's a great lady that I've met a couple times now. She's in Salt Lake City. She's known as Salt Lake City Esther. She actually gives you salt. When she meets you with her business card, it says, hey, you take the salt, you put it in your right hand, throw it over your left shoulder. That's for good luck. And she actually lives outside of Salt Lake City in a small city or town. I forget what it was, that you wouldn't recognize, but she's branding herself with the larger city, right? There's also, there's a million examples. So when you start to think about people, Michelle in the Hamptons, that she's not on today. Look at Michelle, you're getting a shout out. But starting to brand yourself with the area, it's like the more content you can create, right? We had Nicole. Are you on right now? Nicole, she's in Naples, Florida. And she did a great post yesterday where she had a hat on. She was at the beach. She's like, oh man, danger. It's really cold today. It's 70 degrees in Florida. And I was like, it was so good. It was different than I expected, but she's also branding herself with an area, but also showing her personality, her sense of humor, and that she likes to have fun. Okay? Tell your story and your brand will follow. Truly tell your story. Don't, how do I want to say this? Don't create a story or persona that you think other people will like. Some of us, depending on how you're brought up, you're like, I don't know if I want to share my true colors with everybody because what if they don't like me? And my message to you is like, there's somebody for everybody, right? Like I'm not normal, and I celebrate that now in my adult life, but it wasn't always that way, right? I used to get in trouble in school for having too much energy and couldn't sit still, and I was a class clown. So when I got into my work life, I try to dial that back. I actually went to school for tooling and machining. Okay, I was gonna just picture me at a machine, like I could program these machines to make parts. It's awful. It's awful. Okay, could never do that. Yeah, normal is boring. And my favorite saying is, do you remember that person that was just like everybody else? I'll wait. Do you remember that person that was just like everybody else? Me either. So why are you trying to be like everybody else, right? When you create a persona, you may get them to like you because of this imaginary person that you created to be online. But you also need know and trust. So when you meet them, they're going to see that your personality is not in line with the person that they met online. And so then you'll lose know and trust. You'll lose like because they don't like the real you, and then you'll lose know and trust. Whereas if you're transparent and authentic and being who you really want to be, then it'll work out. Okay? Family, you see that, and then fun time. How about a dance party? Bum, bum, bum. So I want to finish that with a thank you, but don't leave yet. There's a couple more things I want to give you before you go. Coming back over here, I'm going to give you some homework to do. Still the class clown. That's right, Anita Bryan. Still class clown. Still. Got that right. I never going to change. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Okay, so we'll leave you with the personal branding improvement plan. Yeah. So based on common challenges faced by real estate professionals and personal branding, outline a plan for improvement. Make this a little smaller for IG. Yippee-doo. And I'll read it to you. You could take a picture and enlarge it. Make it bigger. Here we go. Draft it. Hold on. Where are we? Yeah. Challenges faced by real estate professionals and personal branding. Outline a plan for improvement, focusing on online engagement. Okay. Number 2, help me create a content calendar for the next 2 weeks. So do the first part that we talked about in the beginning. If you came late on the playback, just go to the beginning. I gave you something to start with. You're going to analyze your social media to come up with ways to improve that and be in line with your brand once you determine what your brand's going to be. Themes centered around showcasing my real estate expertise and personality. And then the third part here, we have draft a daily engagement plan for connecting with new people in my real estate niche on social. It's the easiest thing to do, right? We're all worried like, how do I grow? How do I grow my audience? How do I grow? How do I get new people? How can I reach new people? I want more followers. Well, pay attention to the followers that you currently have, because within those followers, there are raving fans. So, at least 3, 5, 10 times a day, just reach out, send a message, have a conversation, say, how are things? What's going on with you? Is there anything I can do to help, right? The more you reach out with a giver's gain philosophy, how can I help you? And it's funny because some people are so used to salespeople. I had somebody follow me brand new, and I was like, what market do you specialize in? No answer. Oh, okay. How is your market going? Nothing. And I'm like, great combo. Take care. And then she replied with, what did she say? Sorry, I'm not interested in your coaching. And I'm like, I don't do that. That's not why I was reaching out. And I don't have anybody that I would refer business to in your area. but never mind. Okay. All right. So last part, drafted it. Yeah, you got that. Now I just want to show you. Let's see, I did some of this. These are some. Boom, boom, boom. What did I put in here? Yeah, craft a daily engagement plan for connecting with new people. So here's kind of what. Let me show you some of these things that the ideas that they came up with. Oh, I got to change my screen. 1 second. I'm like, you guys are not looking at what I'm looking at. Okay. Going back over here, make this a little smaller. Okay, so here's, I'll wait for that to show up on IG. Number 1, post your main content. Share a valuable piece of content. Could be a market insight, a client success story, a tip for a buyer seller. Choose a time when your audience is most active. So you could actually go into, move this over again, move myself over. You can go into your insights on social and they'll tell you when your audience is most active. If that's not a good time for you, don't worry about it, okay? Engage with early birds. Spend 15 to 20 minutes responding to any overnight comments or messages. That's what I do first thing when I wake up. Anything that came overnight, because I'm on the East Coast and it might be people that are staying up on the Pacific, or even I have some people I'm connected with in Hawaii. They're like 6 hours behind us. Then I'll reply to things at that time, because that's the time where I have some availability. If I wait till I get to the office and things get out of hand, or I'm doing a live stream or whatever else. Okay. Engage with the early birds. Mid-morning. Look at these great tips. Mid-morning, connect with new profiles. Dedicate time to finding and connecting with new people in your niche or niche. I like niche. Use hashtags, explore competitors, followers, or participate in real estate groups on LinkedIn and Facebook. So looking at what your competitors are doing is important, not to rip off and duplicate, because you may see somebody like, hey, they're doing this. Cool. I'm going to do the exact opposite, right? Maybe they're discounting their fee for service. Guess what? I'm going to add more value in what I do. Okay. Leave meaningful comments. Don't just scroll. Engage with other people's content. Again, if they're a good person and a good creator, they're going to reply to those comments. And if they keep seeing you again and again and again and again, number one, the algorithm with that interaction, you're going to be in their feed more often, and then they're going to be in yours. Afternoon, content interaction sharing. Share a story or a quick update. Midday, share a story on Instagram or Facebook about your day, behind the scenes look. And I'll put this, I'm going to put a copy to this entire chat in the comments. Okay, create and share. Find interesting articles, videos, or infographics related to real estate and share them with your network. For me, I like, around that time, it's like inspirational, motivational things that I find that come up in my feed. I'm going to share that to my story because it's part of what I like to do, right? And then in the evening, reflect and engage. Review your engagement. Take time to review which posts got the most interaction and why. Understanding what resonates with your audience can guide your content strategy. Love it. Engage with new content. Spend another 20 to 30 minutes engaging with new posts. And you're like, I don't have time for all this. The hell you don't. Okay? You want to build a brand, you have to make time. You have time when you're waiting for your clients. You have time when you're waiting for a Zoom to start. You have time when you're waiting for dinner to finish cooking, if you're cooking it, right? You have time. Just got to make the time. Weekly activities, host a weekly live session. You could do that, discussing a hot topic during Q&A, or collaborate once a week. Try to find, look, my answer is always yes. Somebody goes, hey, do you want to? Yes. Do you want to do a live stream? Yes. Do you want to do a Zoom? Yes. I don't care what it is. I'm always still going to do it. Okay? Now, I would love to be open for any questions you might have. If you're on the book face or you're on Instagram, please let me know. Now or forever, hold your peace. All right. So if you're in the beginning, you heard our one song. I'm really playing with this cool AI to make music. So that was our first ATeam Friday song. We're going to close it out with the second one. See which one you like better. Let's see, was this it?
It's ATeam Friday, we're here to play. Jeremiah's chilling, we got something to say. We're gonna have fun, feel the beat in the air. From the stage to the crowd, we're taking it there. ATeam Friday, let's go. Put your hands up, feel the flow. We gonna jump, we gonna dance. Get ready for the team. Take a chance, ATeam Friday. Here we come. Jeremiah's JMan and I roll on the drums. It's a party, can't you see? Can't you see? ATeam Friday.